The fluorescent lights still give me headaches. 7 years since I left surgery, and my body remembers every late-night rotation, every desperate rush down these sterile halls. Today, the familiar ache behind my eyes feels like a warning I should have heeded. Ms. Shaw? The HR director's voice crackles through my phone. Can you come to my office immediately? I glance at my sister's empty corner office, where I've spent countless hours managing her empire while she builds it higher. The same sister I gave up everything to save. Of course, just let me finish these quarterly reports. Now please, Hadley. My stomach drops at her tone. I've heard that tone before, delivering bad news to patients' families. I straighten my blazer, a habit from my surgeon days, and walk the longest 30 seconds of my life to HR. The conference room holds 3 people, Janet from HR Legal and my sister's new assistant, Riker. No Skylar. The empty chair across from them might as well be an execution block. Please sit. Janet gestures with practiced sympathy. This is difficult, but effective immediately. Your position has been terminated. The words hit like a physical blow. There must be some mistake. I'm Skylar's sister, yes, which is why this comes directly from her. Janet slides a folder across the table. She felt it would be easier this way. Easier. The word echoes in my head as security escorts me to my desk. Easier than looking me in the eye while she betrays 7 years of sacrifice? Easier than acknowledging everything I gave up to nurse her through that nightmare year of chemo? My hands shake as I pack my personal items. The photo of us at her remission celebration catches the light. Her smile brilliant, my arm protective around her shoulders. I just resigned from my residency. You're insane, my department head had said. You're throwing away a brilliant career for what? To play nurse? I'd done it anyway, because that's what family does. My phone buzzes. Nicole, my best friend from my surgery days. Hey, stranger, drinks tonight? I have prime hospital gossip. I stare at the message, throat tight. Rain check. Having a family emergency. Family emergency. Like the one that brought me running 7 years ago, when Skylar could barely lift her head to vomit. When she'd clutch my hand during chemo and whisper, I don't know what I'd do without you, Had. A shadow falls across my desk. Deacon, our head of operations, leans against the cubicle wall. His expression is grim. You heard? About my sister firing me through HR? Yeah, got the memo. I shove the photo frame into my box with more force than necessary. It's not what you think. He glances over his shoulder. Listen, there's more going on here. Things you need to know. Save it. I can't handle conspiracy theories right now. Not when my world is imploding. I need to talk to her. She's not here. His voice softens. She left for the airport an hour ago. Board meeting in Singapore. Of course she did. Skylar Shaw, CEO extraordinaire, doesn't stick around for the aftermath. Not anymore. Not since she clawed her way from death's door to the executive suite, leaving her old self and apparently her loyalty behind. I shoulder past Deacon, box clutched to my chest like armor. The elevator doors open to reveal Jessica from accounting, her eyes wide with sympathy. News travels fast in corporate towers. Hadley, I'm so sorry. Don't. My voice cracks. Please. She steps aside, letting me have the elevator to myself. As the doors close, I catch my reflection in the polished steel, still wearing the watch Skylar gave me last Christmas. For always being there, the inscription reads. My phone buzzes again. A text from Skylar, finally. It's for the best. You'll understand soon. I delete it without responding. 7 years ago, I gave up everything to save my sister's life. Today, she couldn't even look me in the eye while taking everything else. The elevator reaches the lobby, and I straighten my spine. I won't give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. But as I push through the revolving doors into the sharp autumn air, one thought crystallizes with surgical precision. This isn't over, little sister. Not by a long shot. 3 days of silence feels like 3 years when your sister ghosts you. I've left voicemails, texts, even emails, each one more desperate than the last. The only response is the automated out of office message that might as well say, too busy destroying your life to chat. Nicole finds me on my couch, surrounded by empty wine bottles and old medical journals. Jesus, when's the last time you showered? Tuesday. Maybe. I push matted hair from my face. I've been busy wallowing. Clearly. She yanks open my curtains, making me hiss like a vampire. This isn't you. The Hadley I know would be plotting her comeback, not. She gestures at my nest of misery. This. The Hadley you know was stupid enough to believe family meant something. I grab for the wine bottle, but Nicole snatches it away. Did I tell you I found out she's been interviewing replacements for weeks? Weeks, Nick, while I was still planning her birthday party. Get up. Nicole's doctor voice brooks no argument. Shower, now. Then we're getting coffee, and you're gonna tell me everything. 40 minutes later, marginally more human, I clutch a triple espresso at our old med school hangout. The familiar scent of coffee and antiseptic from the nearby hospital makes my chest ache. This was my world once, before Skylar got sick, before I traded surgical scrubs for pencil skirts. I should have seen it coming, I say, watching med students rush past in their white coats. She's been different lately, distant. I thought it was just stress from the merger, but my phone buzzes. Deacon. I almost ignore it, but something in his last words nags at me. Things you need to know. Meet me at Riverside Park, North Entrance. Important. Nicole reads over my shoulder. Suspicious much? He's always been dramatic. But my heart races as I type. When? Now. The park is deserted this early. Morning fog still clinging to the grass. Deacon paces near the entrance, looking over his shoulder like he's in a bad spy movie. This better be good, I call out. I had to put on real pants for this. He doesn't smile. You remember the Wong deal? The acquisition Skylar killed last month? Hard to forget. I spent weeks on that proposal. She didn't kill it. He pulls out his phone, shows me an email chain. She redirected it through shell companies, private equity firms. She's buying Wong's tech division herself, using inside information you gathered. The world tilts sideways. That's illegal. She could go to prison. Only if someone proves it. His eyes bore into mine. Someone with access to the original documents. Someone who knew every detail of those meetings. Understanding hits like a punch to the gut. She fired me to cover her tracks because I knew too much. And because you're too honest. He touches my arm. She couldn't risk you finding out and trying to stop her. You're the only one who dare stand up to her. I jerk away from his touch, bile rising in my throat. Why are you telling me this? Because I've watched you sacrifice everything for her for 7 years. Because what she's doing is wrong. He pauses. And because I need your help to stop her. My help? I laugh, harsh and bitter. I'm unemployed, remember? Thanks to her. You're also the only one who knows where all the bodies are buried. He hands me a thumb drive. Everything's here. Financial records, emails, meeting notes. But only you know how it all connects. I stare at the small piece of plastic that could destroy my sister. What exactly are you suggesting? Justice. His voice is soft. Or revenge. Your choice. My phone buzzes again. Skylar, finally. A single text. Hope you're doing okay. We should talk soon. 7 years of devotion. 7 years of putting her needs first. 7 years of believing in the little sister who once looked at me like I hung the moon. All a lie. I close my fingers around the thumb drive, feeling its edges dig into my palm. You're right about one thing, Deacon. I do know where the bodies are buried. I meet his eyes. Because I helped bury them. He smiles, slow and satisfied. So what are you going to do about it? The fog is lifting now, sunlight breaking through in sharp angles, like clarity after confusion, like truth after betrayal. First, I say, slipping the drive into my pocket, I'm going to make a phone call. Tell me, do you still have Xerxes Wang's private number? Xerxes Wang's office feels like stepping into another world. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the city skyline, making everything below look small and distant. Like my problems, like my sister. I wondered when you'd call, he says, studying me over steepled fingers. Though I admit I expected it years ago. When you first left medicine, I forced myself to meet his gaze. I had obligations. Ah, yes, family. He gestures to the chair across from him. And how is dear Schuyler? The question lands like a slap. Thriving, thanks to me. Indeed. He slides a folder across his desk. Your sister's recent activities have caught my attention, as has your sudden departure from her company. My hands tremble as I open the folder. Inside are documents matching those on Deacon's drive. Proof of Schuyler's betrayal laid out in black and white. How did you... I've been in business longer than your sister's been alive, Hadley. Nothing happens in this industry without my knowledge. He leans forward. The question is, what do you plan to do about it? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. Nicole, 911, Jessica just called. You need to hear this. I glance between the phone and Xerxes. I need to take this. He waves dismissively. We both know you'll be back. 20 minutes later, I'm in Nicole's kitchen, watching Jessica pace. Her mascara is smeared, hands shaking as she lights a cigarette. I shouldn't be here, she says. If Schuyler finds out, she won't. I grab her trembling hands. Jessica, what happened? She's cleaning house. Jessica's voice breaks. Anyone who might know about the Wong deal, we're all being pushed out. Different excuses, but she takes a shuddering breath. This morning, I overheard her and Riker. They're building a paper trail, making it look like you were the one who orchestrated everything. The room spins. Nicole steadies me as I sink into a chair. She's framing me? Nicole's voice is gentle. Maybe it's time to let this go. Walk away before... Before what? Anger surges through me, hot and clarifying. Before my sister destroys my life completely? Before she takes everything else? Before someone gets hurt worse? Nicole snaps. I watched you give up everything for her once. Don't let her take anything else. That's exactly why I can't walk away. I pull out my phone, fingers hovering over Xerxes' number. She needs to learn she can't just discard people. Jessica stubs out her cigarette. I have documents, emails, things that prove what she's doing. But, she wraps her arms around herself. I'm scared, Hadley. She's not the same person anymore. No, I say softly, she's not. After Jessica leaves, Nicole pours us both generous glasses of wine. Remember that patient you had? The one with the tumor everyone said was inoperable? Mrs. Martinez. I smile despite myself. I spent weeks planning that surgery, every angle, every possible complication. And you did it, because you're methodical, precise. She squeezes my hand. Don't lose that now. Don't let anger make you sloppy. She's right. I've been reacting, not planning. Letting emotion cloud my judgment, exactly what I trained myself out of in surgery. My phone buzzes again. Schuyler, coming back tomorrow. Dinner? We should talk. 7 years of medical training taught me one crucial lesson. Timing is everything. In surgery, moving too quickly can be as fatal as moving too slowly. The key is knowing exactly when to strike. I text back, "Can't wait to see you, sis." Then I call Xerxes. "That position you offered me 3 years ago, is it still available?" "Perhaps." I can hear his smile. "With some modifications." "Good." I take a deep breath, feeling the familiar calm of pre-surgery focus settle over me. "Because I have a proposition for you." Nicole watches me, concern etched on her face. "Had I know what I'm doing." I meet her eyes. For the first time since she got sick, I know exactly what I'm doing. That's what worries me. But she doesn't understand. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about excising a cancer, precisely, methodically, completely. And if there's one thing I know how to do, it's cut out something poisonous before it can spread. Sorry, little sister. You taught me well. Family isn't about loyalty anymore. It's about survival. The restaurant Skylar chose screams power play, all gleaming surfaces and hushed conversations. She's already seated when I arrive, perfectly coiffed, typing on her phone. Just like old times, except now I know what lurks beneath the polished surface. "Hadley." She stands, arms open for a hug I don't return. Something flickers in her eyes. Hurt, maybe. Or just annoyance at an uncooperative prop. "You look tired." "Unemployment will do that." I slide into my seat, noting how she's positioned herself to face the door. "Always planning escape routes, my sister." "About that." She sets her phone down. "I know you're upset." "Upset?" I laugh, too loud for this pristine space. "That's one word for it. It was a business decision." Her voice holds that familiar patient tone she uses for difficult employees. "The company is evolving. We needed fresh perspectives. Fresh perspectives who won't recognize fraud when they see it." Her smile freezes. "I don't know what you think you know." "Stop." My hands shake as I pull out my phone, pull up the documents Jessica provided. "Just stop lying, for once." She glances at the screen, face unreadable. Then, "Where did you get those?" "Does it matter? They're real. You're stealing Wong's company using information I gathered. Information you're now trying to pin on me. It's more complicated than that." She leans forward, voice dropping. "There are things you don't understand. Like loyalty, family." "You're right. I clearly don't understand those anymore." The waiter approaches. Skylar orders wine without looking at him, always in control. "Remember when you were sick?" I ask after he leaves. "That night you couldn't stop throwing up when the chemo was at its worst?" She flinches. "Hadley, you made me promise never to leave you, said you couldn't face it alone." My voice cracks. "I gave up everything for that promise, and you're framing me for securities fraud. To protect you." The words burst out of her. "God had, don't you get it? This deal, it's bigger than you know. Dangerous people are involved. I had to distance you before." "Before what?" She closes her eyes. "I can't tell you, but please trust me. Everything I've done was for my own good." I stand, chair scraping loud against marble. "That's what abusers say, Skylar." The wine arrives. She grabs my wrist as I turn to leave. "Where are you going?" "To get some fresh perspective." I pull free. "Isn't that what you wanted?" Outside, my phone buzzes. "Deacon, meeting set with Wong's board tomorrow. You ready?" Another text arrives before I can respond. An unknown number. "Back off the Wong deal or old hospital records might surface. Your sister wasn't the only one with secrets." My blood runs cold. Only 3 people knew about that patient who died on my table. The case that almost ended my career before I quit. I call Nicole. "We have a problem." "Several," she says. Riker was just here asking questions about your time at the hospital. What did you tell him? Nothing? But what aren't you telling me? About why you really left medicine? I lean against a building, legs weak. I need to see you, now. Can't? I'm having dinner with. She pauses. Oh God. What? Skylar just walked in. She's coming toward my table. My sister's words echo. Dangerous people are involved. Nicole, don't. I have to go. She hangs up. I stare at my phone, mind racing. The pieces are shifting, alliances blurring. Whatever game Skylar's playing, it's bigger than corporate theft. Another text. Xerxes. Board meeting moved up. Tomorrow morning. Bring everything. My finger hovers over his message. In surgery, there's a point of no return. When you've cut too deep to simply stitch it up and walk away. I'm standing on that precipice now. I think of Skylar's face when she mentioned danger, of Nicole's hesitation, of that unknown number threatening to expose my past. My sister wants to play chess. Fine. But she forgot who taught her to be ruthless. Those long nights in the hospital, when I made the hard calls that kept her alive. I text Xerxes back. I'll be there, with everything. Time to show her what a real surgeon can do, with a steady hand and a sharp blade. The boardroom at Wong Industries feels like an operating theater, all sharp angles and brutal fluorescent lighting. I arrange my documents with surgical precision, each paper a weapon, each file a calculated incision into my sister's carefully constructed lies. They're ready for you, Deacon says from the doorway. I check my reflection in the window. Power suit, perfect makeup. No sign of the woman who spent last night pacing her apartment, waiting for Nicole to call back. She never did. The boardroom falls silent as I enter. Xerxes sits at the head of the table, Skylar's empty chair a conspicuous void beside him. My presentation is loaded, damning evidence ready to destroy everything my sister built. Then Nicole walks in. She's wearing a suit I've never seen, carrying a leather briefcase that screams corporate lawyer. Our eyes meet, and I see 7 years of friendship warring with whatever brought her here. I'm sorry, she whispers as she passes. I tried to warn you. Before I can process this betrayal, Skylar sweeps in. She takes in the room, me at the podium, Nicole by her side, Xerxes watching like a pleased chess master, and smiles. Quite the gathering, she says. Though I expected better from you, Had. Going to my competitors? That's a bit obvious, don't you think? Not as obvious as fraud. I click to my first slide, hands steady, always steady. Should we discuss the shell companies, the insider trading, or skip straight to how you plan to frame me? We should discuss Dr. Marcus Thompson. Nicole's voice is soft but carries. Your patient from 7 years ago. The one whose death you covered up. The room spins. That's not. I didn't. You falsified records. Skylar's voice holds no triumph, only sadness. Changed timestamps. Made it look like you weren't in surgery when the complications started. To protect the hospital, I whisper. To protect you. If I'd lost my license then, who would have taken care of you? I know. Skylar steps closer. That's why I had to protect you now. This deal, these people, they would have destroyed you, used that information to force your cooperation or ruin you trying. So you ruined me first? Anger cuts through shock. Fired me? Threatened me? I removed you from the game board. She reaches for my hand. I jerk away. Everything else was theater, to make them believe you were really gone. And Nicole? Was turning my best friend against me part of the theater? I'm here as your friend. Nicole stands. Those records? I helped bury them deeper, where no one can find them now. My carefully planned revenge crumbles. All my evidence, my righteous anger, means nothing against this revelation. against the knowledge that while I plotted to destroy my sister, she was protecting me. Again. The Wong acquisition is still happening, Schuyler continues, but cleanly now, legally. No one can touch us, or you. Us? I laugh bitterly. There is no us anymore. You made sure of that. Actually, Xerxes finally speaks. Your sister insisted on one condition for the merger. You're being offered a position as chief medical officer for our new biotech division. He slides a contract across the table. Your surgical experience makes you uniquely qualified. I stare at the paper, mind reeling. This whole thing was a job interview? More like an extraction. Schuyler's eyes hold mine. I needed you angry enough to leave, to cut ties publicly, so they'd believe you were no longer a threat. They? Who are? The boardroom door bursts open. Riker rushes in, face pale. They're here, federal agents, lots of them. Schuyler's smile turns sharp. Right on schedule. She turns to me. Ready to help me take down some actually bad guys, sis? Like old times? I look at the contract, at Nicole's encouraging nod, at my sister's extended hand. 7 years ago, I chose family over career. Now I'm being offered both. But the cost. If we do this, I say, no more lies, no more manipulation. I'm not your pawn. Never were. Schuyler squeezes my hand. You're my knight, always have been. Footsteps echo in the hallway. Badges and warrants are coming, bringing a storm of questions and accusations. But for the first time since this started, I feel the old synchronicity with my sister. That perfect flow we had in her worst moments, fighting death together. Time to scrub in for one more operation. Federal agents swarm the boardroom like antibodies attacking an infection. I watch them gather evidence, take statements, following a choreography I don't fully understand. Schuyler stands with perfect posture, answering questions with practiced ease, always the performer. Dr. Shaw, a female agent approaches. We need your statement about the irregularities you reported. I blink. The irregularities The whistleblower complaint. She consults her notebook, filed 3 months ago regarding suspicious payments from offshore accounts. My eyes snap to Schuyler. She meets my gaze steadily, a slight nod confirming what I'm beginning to understand. She didn't just plan this, she orchestrated it, used my firing, my anger, my very public break with her as cover for something bigger. Of course, I say smoothly, though I believe my sister can better explain. Your sister is a person of interest. The agent's voice sharpens. We need your independent testimony. Before I can respond, Deacon bursts in. They're moving everything, servers, files, Riker's coordinating a purge. The room erupts. Agents rush out, radios crackling. Schuyler's face shows the first crack in her composure, real fear. She grabs my arm. Whatever happens next, remember, the patient files are in the basement archive, the ones from 7 years ago. What are you? Trust me one last time. She squeezes my hand, then turns to the approaching agents. Gentlemen, shall we discuss this somewhere more private? They lead her away. Nicole appears at my elbow, tension radiating from her. We need to move, now. The basement? I'm already moving. What's really down there? Not what, who? She punches the elevator button repeatedly. Remember Jessica? She's been gathering evidence for months, real evidence, about who's really behind the Wong deal. The elevator seems to take years. I think of Schuyler's face when she mentioned dangerous people, of Riker's suspicious questions, of all the pieces I'm still missing. Why didn't you tell me? I demand as we descend. All this time? Because you're a terrible liar. Nicole's smile is tight. Your reactions had to be real for them to believe. Them who? The elevator doors open to chaos. Alarms blare. Emergency lights casting everything in surreal red. Jessica stands by the archive room, frantically typing on a laptop. They're deleting everything. She looks up, desperate. I can't stop it. I rush to the computer, muscle memory from countless hospital emergencies taking over. Move. The code scrolling across the screen isn't medical records. It's transaction logs, shell company data, evidence of something massive, something ugly. It's not just corporate theft. Jessica explains as I type. They're using medical companies to launder money, testing experimental drugs without approval. People have died. My fingers freeze. Skylar knew? She discovered it 3 months ago. Nicole watches the door. Started gathering evidence, but they caught on, started threatening to expose your past mistake unless she played along. So she pushed me away. The realization hits like a physical blow. To protect me, again, and to give you deniability. Jessica points to the screen. Look, through the scrolling deletion notices, I spot familiar names. Board members, executives, people I've known for years, including Deacon. Oh God, my stomach lurches. He's been playing both sides. All sides. Nicole's voice is grim. He's upstairs right now, probably destroying more evidence. Footsteps echo in the hallway. Jessica grabs her laptop. We need to go. But I'm seeing something else on the screen, something that makes my blood run cold. Surgical schedules, patient records, evidence that could destroy not just me, but dozens of doctors, hundreds of patients. Had. Nicole tugs my arm. We have to move. The footsteps are closer. In surgery, there's a moment when you have to choose. Cut or close, save or sacrifice. This feels like that. I think of Skylar, facing federal agents to protect me, of all the times I saved her life, and how she's trying to return the favor. My fingers fly across the keyboard, executing commands I haven't used since my hospital days, backing up files, creating mirrors, building redundancies. What are you doing? Jessica demands, choosing a side. I hit enter as the door bursts open. The right one this time. Deacon stands in the doorway, gun raised. Step away from the computer, Hadley. I stand slowly, hands raised. Behind my back, the thumb drive finishes copying. One last chance to do this right. Hello, Deacon. I smile, feeling the calm certainty of surgery settle over me. Let's talk about loyalty. Deacon's gun doesn't waver. In the red emergency lights, his face looks demonic, twisted with something darker than greed. Behind me, Nicole and Jessica edge toward the second exit. You know what's funny? I keep my voice steady, like talking to a nervous patient. I actually felt guilty about betraying you. Hadley. He gestures with the gun. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. That's what we tell patients before a painful procedure. I take a careful step forward, but sometimes pain is necessary for healing. Very poetic. Now delete the files. Like you deleted those trial participants? The words hit home. His finger tightens on the trigger. How many died, Deacon? How many families never knew why? It was necessary research. Sweat beads on his forehead. Progress requires sacrifice. I sacrificed everything for my sister. Another step. What did you sacrifice besides your humanity? A commotion erupts upstairs, shouts, running feet. His eyes flick toward the ceiling. Just for a moment. I move. 7 years of muscle memory take over. The gun clatters away as we crash into filing cabinets. His fist catches my ribs. Pain explodes, but I'm already turning, using his momentum against him. Just like Skylar taught me during her self-defense phase. He's stronger, but I know anatomy. Know exactly where to strike to make knees buckle, breath catch. Had. Nicole's warning comes too late. Something hard strikes my temple. The world spins as I hit the ground. Through blurring vision, I see Riker standing over me, fire extinguisher raised. Should have stayed fired, he sneers. Should have checked the security cameras. Skylar's voice rings out. Riker turns directly into a federal agent's taser. He drops like a stone. Deacon lunges for his gun. 3 agents tackle him, cuffs glinting in the emergency lights. Clear, someone shouts. Regular lights flood on, harsh and revealing. Skylar kneels beside me, hands gentle as she checks my head. Always diving into trouble without backup. Learned from the best. I wince as she finds the lump. You okay? Better than them. She nods toward Deacon and Riker, being led away. We got everything, the trial records, the money transfers, all of it, thanks to you. Thanks to us. I grab her hand, but don't ever manipulate me like that again. Even to save your life? Especially then. I struggle to sit up. We're better together. You know that. I do now. She helps me stand. That's why I'm offering you a real choice this time. Nicole approaches with an ice pack and a thumb drive. Everything's secure. The agents have copies. And the hospital records? I have to ask. Skylar smiles. What records? Seems there was a system glitch 7 years ago. Lots of files corrupted. Tragic, really. Speaking of tragic, Nicole points to the doorway. Xerxes stands there, flanked by agents. His usual smooth confidence is gone, replaced by barely controlled rage. You played me, he says to Skylar. No. I step forward, ignoring the throbbing in my head. We played each other, all of us moving pieces on a board, thinking we were so clever. I meet his eyes. But we forgot the first rule of medicine: do no harm. Save the lectures. You've destroyed years of valuable research. We've exposed dangerous criminals. Skylar's voice could freeze fire. The only question is whether you were directing them or just profiting from them. The agents lead him away. In the sudden quiet, I look at my sister, really look at her. Past the power suits and perfect makeup, I see the girl who once trusted me with her life. So, she says, about that CMO position. I have conditions. Of course you do. Full autonomy, ethical oversight of all trials, and, I take a deep breath, family dinner, once a week, where we actually talk. That's your condition? Forced bonding? Yes, I touch the bump on my head. Because all of this happened because we stopped talking. Really talking. She's quiet for a moment. Wednesdays work for you? Wednesdays are perfect. Nicole clears her throat. If you two are done with the heartwarming reunion, there are about 50 federal agents upstairs who need statements. Skylar offers me her arm, like she used to during chemo. Ready to face the music, sis? I take it, feeling the familiar strength in our connection. Always. Together, we head upstairs to clean up one last mess. But this time, we're in sync. The way we always should have been. The way we'll stay. The fluorescent lights still give me headaches, but now, standing in my new office overlooking the surgical wing, they feel more like an old friend's greeting than an enemy's glare. Dr. Shaw. My assistant pokes her head in. Your sister's here. Skylar enters before I can respond, carrying 2 coffee cups and a thick file. Ready for the board meeting? Born ready. I accept the coffee. She still remembers exactly how I take it, though I'm not sure they're ready for us. They better be. She perches on my desk, something she never would have done 2 months ago. The new trial protocols are non-negotiable. I flip through the file she brought: patient safety measures, ethical guidelines, transparency requirements. My work, her execution, the perfect synthesis. Have you seen the latest numbers? She asks. From the legitimate trials? Yes. I allow myself a small smile. Turns out ethical research actually produces better results. Who knew? Deacon knew. She says it casually, but I catch the undertone. That's why he fought so hard to stop us. The real data proved his methods weren't just cruel, they were inefficient. My phone buzzes, Nicole reminding me about dinner tonight. Our weekly gathering has expanded to include Jessica, who's now heading our compliance department. Even Xerxes' former board members occasionally join, eager to prove their redemption. Speaking of proof, Skylar pulls another document from her bag. This came from the federal investigation. I recognized the patient file immediately. Marcus Thompson, the case that haunted me for 7 years. I don't want to read it. Her voice is gentle but firm. Please. The medical examiner's report is new to me. Details I never saw in my panic back then. Cause of death. Undiagnosed congenital condition. Nothing I could have done differently would have saved him. Why didn't you show me this before? Because you weren't ready to forgive yourself. She takes the file back. Sometimes the hardest person to trust is yourself. A commotion outside draws our attention. Through the glass walls, I see Jessica arguing with a man I don't recognize. Security approaches. That's Marcus Thompson's son, Skylar explains quietly. He's been trying to contact you. My heart stops. What does he want? To thank you. She squeezes my hand. The federal investigation uncovered everything, including how hard you fought to save his father, how you stayed with him until the end. The young man sees me through the glass. Our eyes meet. There's no anger in his face, only a desperate need for connection, for understanding. Go, Skylar urges. Some wounds need more than time to heal. My legs shake as I open the door. Up close, he has his father's eyes. Dr. Shaw? His voice breaks. I needed you to know. Dad talked about you after. Said you were the only one who treated him like a person, not a case. Something breaks loose in my chest. A knot of guilt and grief I'd carried so long, it felt like part of me. Would you like to get coffee? I hear myself ask. I can tell you about him. The fight he showed. The strength. He nods, tears spilling. Behind him, Skylar gives me a thumbs up before slipping away. She knows I'll catch up, that we'll face the board together. But right now, this matters more. As I lead Marcus's son to the hospital cafe, I pass the surgical board. My name is back on the schedule, not for operations, but for consultations, a bridge between my past and future. You know, he says as we sit down, Dad always said doctors should be healers first, surgeons second. Sounds like you figured that out. I think of Skylar, of how healing our relationship required more than just cutting out the poison, of how true recovery means facing the pain, not running from it. I had good teachers, I tell him. Some lessons just take time to learn. Through the window, I watch residents rushing past, their white coats billowing like sails. Once, I thought leaving surgery meant leaving my true self behind. Now I know better. Sometimes the deepest healing happens after you put down the scalpel,